Welcome back. You're watching The Money Show, and it's time to get your mutual fund portfolio queries answered. And for that, today I have with me Abhijit Choksi from Stockify.in. Abhijit, hi, good evening, and welcome to the show. And let's connect you with our viewers and let's begin their portfolio queries questions. But then I do have a WhatsApp number to flash before I go on to our viewer query. The WhatsApp number is 865-797-4571 and the moneyshow at etnow.tv. That's the email ID where you can send across your questions. All right, so let's take our first question. Mr. Suresh, do I have Suresh on the phone line with me? Good evening. How are you doing, Suresh?
Yeah, good evening. Good,
Thank you so much for sending us your question. And I believe you're invested 25,000 in HDFC Defence Fund this year, and
Yes.
your money has been doubled. So congratulations. You want to know if you can book the profit, sir. I wanted to know what was the time horizon when you wanted to invest in this particular fund, because usually in mutual funds, you know, you need to have an investment horizon of 3 or plus years. So what was the intention?
No, actually, I'm a stock trader. Actually,
Okay.
so I have retired. I'm a retired person. Now I'm
Sure,
going to
sure.
investing in mutual funds. I have started slowly.
Okay.
Whereas
Okay.
on APO, this one I have invested, and I'm getting some doubling money. Then just I'm inquiring. I didn't have any about mutual fund knowledge. So that's why
Okay.
I question
Sure,
whether I book
sure, sure.
profit or shall I
So do you
continue?
need the money? Do you need the money?
No, not really.
All right. So, because you're a stock trader, I'm
Mhm.
sure you must be knowing that investing in mutual funds works slightly differently,
Yes.
because we're talking about a defense fund which has a different type of
Mm.
sector-specific companies. So,
Yeah.
and the sector that we're talking about is actually very hot, you know, which is why we also saw the NFO coming and a great response to the NFO also. And
Yes.
since you are in profit now and you do not need the money and it's an investment time horizon in mutual funds, Abhijit, would you recommend him to be there for at least more 5 years, looking at this sector and the kind of hotness it has, Abhijit?
Generally, we believe that in any mutual fund scheme, that as you said, that at least 3 to 5 years is the ideal time horizon. But it completely depends on whether Mr. Suresh has any other mutual fund portfolios or this is the only mutual fund he has. Because if we are concentrating in only one fund, then there is no diversification, right? So does he have any other folios apart from this, or this is his only mutual fund investment?
Yes, I
Suresh,
had some other
we have
mutual
Suresh
fund
on the
investment.
phone lines. So,
Yes.
yeah, Suresh, sorry, we did not get you. Are you already invested
Yeah.
in other mutual funds as well?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Some other funds are being invested in
What
manufacturing
are those
sector.
funds? Sir, can you please tell us the
Manufacture.
name?
Yeah, Zerodha manufacture some mid cap, small cap fund is there. Zerodha. And
Okay.
one more is HDFC manufacturing. This one is there.
Okay.
I can't name it properly. I'm outside.
Sure.
Uh,
Okay.
so there is some nearly 4 lakhs I have invested total.
Okay. So it's
So far.
either a mid
So far.
cap, small cap, or a thematic and a sector fund in your portfolio. That's
Yeah,
all?
different sectors. Different sectors I have invested.
Okay,
Because I'm a
different
stock trader
sectors.
now, I
Okay.
know that the sector wise. That's why I
Yeah.
invested in sector wise. Yeah.
Very interesting. Sure. Let me just connect with Abhijit over here. So, Abhijit, this is a very interesting question also, because see, Suresh has a mindset of a stock trader. He definitely keeps a track of the news flow, sector-specific news flow, company-specific news flow, which is why the kind of mutual fund portfolio he has is very sector-oriented, thematic-oriented, and again, mid-cap, small-cap, because he's aware of the risk involved over there. In this particular case, do you recommend him to maybe diversify his portfolio towards a safer zone, which is having a base portfolio, or because he's already a stock trader, you think he can afford to have a thematic and a sector exposure, and which is why HDFC's defense or a manufacturing fund works for him? In mid cap, small cap, he's got a passive strategy.
Right. So the prudent strategy going forward, which I also advise to almost all of my clients, is let's say if he seems to have met his return expectation based on, as he has mentioned, that he has already doubled his money. So best strategy would be to book partially. Let's say you take half the money off the table and let partial profits ride for the longer term. That would be one strategy going forward. And as he has a very diversified portfolio, I think also we are at almost all-time high in the market, especially small and mid caps are at an all-time high. It's prudent to book partially and then maybe hold on cash or diversify into more like a larger cap or a mid cap portfolio rather than having in a very focused thematic fund. At least partially you can book, I believe.
Okay, so if you're asking Suresh to book profit partially and if he has that money in his hand, what kind of fund do you recommend? If you could just give us the name also.
ICICI Prudential Blue Chip Fund is something which he can park his money, at least for the time being, especially looking at the current scenario with election on cards. It's better to take some money off the table. That's what my view is.
Have a passive large cap since he already has large passive strategy in mid cap and small cap. Can he have an index fund that way?
Yeah, correct. Index fund. See, basically, an index fund
Okay,
and mutual fund more or less gives the same kind of returns, right?
sure.
Any one we
All
can
right,
choose.
Suresh. Yeah. All right, Suresh. So that's the answer for you. Let's move on quickly. I'll take Piyush's question. And okay, do I have Piyush on the phone line? This question is via email, Abhijit. He wants to invest for 2 years and short-term debt funds is what he's looking for.
Right. So, see, basically, short-term debt funds, they primarily invest in all the debt instrument, and the ideal time horizon is 1 to 3 years. So, I'm assuming that his objective would be to park some money in a very safe instrument because he would be needing it in a 2 to 3 year horizon. So, if he wants to go for a short-term debt fund, then I would recommend SBI and HDFC short-term debt fund as the two choices, where he can just park his money for at least 1 to 2 years, which would be as good as, like, it will give him marginally better return than FDs. But if he really wants to go for a debt fund, these two are my choices.
So ICICI Pru short-term and SBI short-term debt funds are the recommendations for you, Piyush. With that, Abhijit, it's a time up on the show. We do have a lot of queries, but then that's the bit that we have on the show with you today. Thank you so much for taking time out for answering our viewer queries today. All right, on that note, it's a wind up on the Money Show as well. But then, as usual, I'm going to leave you with our WhatsApp number and email ID where you can send across questions related to your financial portfolio, be it mutual fund, insurance, or any other aspect of financial planning for which you need our expert advice.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to ET Now.